Hello, everybody. It is Jackie from Pocket of Preschool, and I'm so excited you are here tonight with me because guess what? We are doing a transportation theme. So what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you around the room a little bit, and then I'm going to have a seat like normal and show you all the things that you can do for a transportation theme. But in the comments, I want you to tell me what's your favorite activity or favorite read aloud that you do for a transportation theme. So this shirt is from Amazon. So also if you have any fun shirts or maybe you wear fun earrings, tell us what you do for your transportation theme in your classroom. So in my writing center, which you can see is right behind me, I'm going to show you that first. Are you ready? I always have vocabulary cards in my pocket chart. Now, sometimes I have uppercase, sometimes I have lowercase. I always have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. The beginning of the year, I do uppercase, and then I switch to lowercase once our fine motor is stronger, and lowercase isn't so frustrating. And then I have some on the table. I have some half-page transportation-themed pages. Here's my uppercase cards again, in case friends want those. I have those in there. I also have name cards. These aren't laminated. I usually laminate them, but you know, life. And then sometimes I put a word building activity at the writing table. So maybe they don't want to write it, but they want to build it. So I have some letters, and these are just like foam strips. And I just, this is like, I think paint sticks, and I made little roads so they can make all the different words, transportation words on the road. So again, if they don't write, we're still doing some fun lettery things. At my pocket chart, I have some beginning sound puzzles. Now, you can tell I don't have all the alphabet up, but all they do is go down here and they grab it and they match the letter. Now, if you can see, it's also on the wheel. So it's kind of like a check, which is perfect. And again, you don't have to have all the letters up if your students are younger, or maybe there are certain letters you're working on. So you're using your assessments or your ESGI assessments, and you know what letters they need to work on. So put those at your pocket chart. And I always keep my magnet letters and a few dry erase on there in case they want to do something else around the edges. And then, so on the, usually up here, I have all my trays that we do for like small group. So this activity, when students are done with it, they would put it up here because this is kind of my space for all my themed activities. But we have another letter matching game, but this one is water transportation. So we're doing boats and rafts. And then again, I don't have all the letters out. We just went to letter I. So they can put them all out on the carpet, and then they can match the boats in the water. And then I also have some letters that they can match in there too. I just have a few fun pom-poms, and then to clean it up, all they would do is put it all back. We're going to pretend like I have it all back in, and then they would put it up here because usually this top shelf of my library shelf is where any of the themed activities go. So that way they kind of have a nice little home. And I always usually do this for maybe small group or arrival activity. And then I'll put it out so they kind of know what to do. Now I also have a light table activity set up over here. So I have a few of these transportation cars. Whoopsies. So they can build something with them. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this off because it's a little obnoxious. Okay, that's better. So they can build whatever they want. Now, are they gonna build just a car? Maybe. So I put out my STEM cards. These are from the transportation STEM I Can Build set, because maybe they don't want to build a car. Maybe they're like ignoring this, and maybe they're going to build a cruise ship, or maybe they want to use these and make a train. But these will give students real photos, and again, just some more ideas on just building a car. Again, tons and tons of ideas. I also put these in my block center and in the sensory table, which I'll show you in a minute. But again, you can use whatever magnet blocks you have, and that way they can build something other than hopefully a car every time. And again, if they use these, great. If they don't use them, that is okay too. Okay, we are gonna keep going. I have a few butcher paper activities I wanna show you for a transportation theme. So this one's a spaceship because it's a form of transportation. So butcher paper activities I usually do for arrival because they can get up and go around the table. Now I usually only have one on the table, but I'm just showing you right here. So they just match the letter. And again, you can tell this was folded. So once you make it, you can put it in your closet and then pull it out again. And they can match uppercase with uppercase, uppercase with lowercase. And you can make this into any basically vehicle you want. Another thing you can do is you can skywrite. I feel like we skywrite a lot. So why not practice our name? So they're gonna grab the letters out of here. They can also fly, right? With all their planes. But they can make their friends' names with, again, just grab the tub off of your shelf and you're ready to go. And they can make all their friends' names by just drawing some lines, like, the plain lines, and writing their names on the butcher paper. If you want to practice different types of lines, this one's obviously a construction theme. So they pick a card and they write it on in the dirt. Now I have diggers here too, because maybe they don't want to use markers. Maybe they want to do the motion with the digger, and that is okay too. We just want to get them doing the different types of lines motion. All right, again, I would only do one of these at a time. So please don't put all of these out at the same time. So this one, hold on, I'm gonna turn around. This one is hot air balloon. So we got, some air transportation. So I made these dice, can you tell? Because they are taped. But I just put the different types of lines on here because I didn't use these dice. So I thought, why not? They roll it and then they make that type of line in the air balloon. And I love making these because you can make these types of lines as hard or as easy as you want. Like maybe this is too hard of a line for your friends. So maybe you're just gonna stick to lines and bumps and waves, whatever you call those, zigzags. Okay, these are great, super, super fun. Basically, we're doing butcher paper activities so our friends can use those muscles in a really fun way to practice different types of lines. Okay, I love wearing fun t-shirts for your theme. Also, if you have any like Lightning McQueen shirts or planes, wear all the fun things to have fun with your kids. So a lot of the things I'm showing you are in the Transportation Math and Literacy Center set. Also the STEM cards, the STEM I can build, like I can build a car, I can build a train, I can build a bus, all of those. That's the Transportation STEM unit, okay? Now, if you're thinking like, how do I remember where all of these things are? So go into your curriculum map, and then what you're gonna do is all of these are by theme in here. So you'll go across and you'll see transportation. There's always a video, those are linked. If there's a book list, and it'll have your everything linked in your curriculum. So we have and they're all clickable. So you can get all the different things. There's sensory table ideas, Play-Doh trays, everything. So go in here, and if you need to be like, where do I find all the different ideas? Curriculum map, go in there. Okay. Now, books. I love books for a transportation theme. I'm just gonna go over some of my favorites, but you can click the book link, the book list on the blog if you wanna see more, and the book list is in the curriculum map too. So, The Bridge is Up, is a really fun one. I love this one because it's also teaches about waiting, and it'll say like, the bridge is up and the bus can't go and the car can't go and the truck can't go, so everybody has to wait. It's sequencing, it's practicing waiting. You can see they're getting frustrated. You can talk about their different feeling faces. You can talk about who was there first, who was last, all the different things. Great one. The Bridge is Up, and it has all different land transportation on here. We also have My Truck is Stuck. Oh, you can tell this book is loved. Okay. Also, I use clip art to do a retelling. I always keep that with my books, and these are just random clip art I did. Just like Google image clip art. But again, if you have retelling kits, keep it with your book. Otherwise, if you're anything like me, you'll forget it, and then the theme will be over and you won't have that. So do that. Gus's Garage. This one is great because Gus builds different things and to fit the different animals. So it's hard to do it upside down. So we have like his giraffe, and he's chilly. So he built him a car that covers his neck. So it's just a really cute book about there's a problem, and Gus, the mechanic, solves it all the different ways. Like, adorable. So fun, great. Also, like, you know, just out of the box thinking. Love that. Hot Rod Hamster. This one is an awesome too. Twinkle Twinkle Little Car is a play on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Wheels on the School Bus, that one's a must. And you can also do Wheels on the School Bus during music and movement time. But have you read Wheels on the Race Car? This one's great. And look, you guys, look how loved it is. Like, I literally have taped the entire front cover and like basically laminated it because it's just so loved. Like, every page is taped. You know it's a good book. So the Wheels on the Race Car, the Wheels on the Tuk Tuk. So that's another fun one. Trucks Roll. The Three Little Rigs is obviously a twisted fairy tale on three little pigs. You can't forget about Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and always have the kids put their feet together and they can practice going back and forth. Great gross motor. And Freight Train, I love this one too. So all of these are on the book list. If you need that, go hop on the blog or in the curriculum map, that's there. And then who fixes all of these vehicles? Mechanics do. I love this one because it talks about super simple text. But what are we gonna have in dramatic play? We're probably gonna have, my favorite thing is to do an auto shop. Okay, you can tell I have some of the printables ready to go, but here it is in my classroom. So you can see we have our truck there, which is a cardboard box, and the wheels come off. You can see the wheels are off on this guy, and it's just an absolute blast. Lots of literacy and math added, the mechanics report. We have our waiting room. We have all of our parts, which are just different things the kids covered in foil. We have our scooter board so they can scoot under the car and work on the train, not the train, the car. Oh, also, if you have your cardboard box, cut some holes in it so they can stick pipe cleaners in and out like wheels. And then we have all of our fix-it things. So these are just like dish soap, and I put liquid in it for all the different oils, and tape it close. I do have an empty oil can. It is taped and hot glued and then taped again shut, so the kids can't actually get in it. And again, it's just really, really fun. And if you need a clothing for them, I wonder if I have one in here. Here they are. Here are my mechanics working on the car. It's just a white t-shirt, and I literally rubbed permanent paint on it like it's oil. Like, oh my gosh, look at this little friend working on the car, just having an absolute blast. So try an auto shop in your dramatic play. You will love it. I know I have a video where I walk you around, so check that out too if you want to see it kind of in action. Okay, so let's do some more. Let's do blocks first. I feel like we always do literacy, but let's do blocks first. So in the block center, obviously I don't have it ready to go, but in the STEM unit, again, it's the same cards. You can have it on the shelf. And then what you can do is just add just a bucket of different things. So this one I have a whole bunch. So I have I have trains. This one's just kind of like a mixed box. I have some planes in here. So it's just kind of a little bit of everything. Now, if you don't have a lot, just put like a little tub of all the different transportation in one. If you have a bunch of different and you have a lot of things, you could label this one like planes and this one trains, okay? Use what you have and make it work for you. And then also one fun thing to add besides those STEM, I can build cards because again, you can see I have them on the bulletin board, and I usually close pin them up just because they're easier to switch out, and if the kids need to get one down, they can. I like putting out pieces of felt. You can do small ones or like the normal size, but this can be their water. This can be grass. This can be dirt. This could be like a road. Okay, if you want to make actual roads, and I literally just take these and like put them in like a little basket, and then they can grab those, and then this adds a lot to their building. Or maybe they want this one to be the sky. You could put some white in there for clouds, whatever you want to do. If you want to make roads, so this is foam, like that foam, and just draw some lines down. And again, it's real cheap, easy to do. You could also laminate black paper. I had road tape one year from like the dollar spot, so I put it on black paper and laminated it. So I just have some like roads, and I have some long ones and some short ones. But again, this, or you could do black paper, laminate it, and then, you know, put some stripes down the middle. That works too. So you just have a little bucket of roads, and then you have your bucket of like land and sea, and then you have your bucket of vehicles, and you have your different STEM I Can Build cards, and now they're gonna be building all kinds of fun transportation-y things. Now, will they also maybe build a castle? Maybe, and you know what, that's okay. As long as we give them options, it's totally fine. But we want them to kind of build different things every time, because if they're building the same thing over and over and over, they don't have to think any differently, which means they're not developing any new skills. But if we encourage them to build something new, and maybe rather than building their castle, maybe they're gonna build like a runway so the plane can land by the castle. Again, we're just getting them to kind of do something a little bit different, kind of bend their thinking, get them doing different things. So, exciting stuff. Also, I have this over here, so I don't forget. If you have these like wooden trains, these, put the bucket of these out too. Like, don't forget about these. These are great. They're tricky, but great. All right, one more thing. So this is something I have in my math or like discovery center. I have it out almost all year long, but it's literally just a whole bunch of real nuts and bolts and washers. So they literally will get this out and look, I mean, there's not like a bazillion in there, but they just get them out and they twist them. They'll put the washers on. They'll put another bolt on or nut or all the things and kind of screw it together and make all kinds of fun things. I have a long one, and then maybe they put these on. But they're actually from like Lowe's or Home Depot. They're like the bigger ones, about that big. Not the pointy ones. These are flat on this side. Okay, but it's great fine motor, and they love playing with these. And again, I have a label for it. That's in my labels kit. But they go crazy for these. Like, absolutely bananas, love these. So it's a great wine motor thing, especially, and you can probably have it out the rest of the year because they love just nuts and bolts and washers. But in your science center, I usually do ramps. So in the ramps unit, I know a lot of us do the one where we make the different textures and have the kids try and go down, see which one's slow and fast. Or maybe you want to have them make their own ramp with cardboard. Or maybe they use the Cove molding. I do have lots of vocabulary cards. This is my ramps unit to kind of give them lots of ideas. So if you need a science idea, it's in the All About Ramps science unit. Now, sensory. So this one, you can do two ways, and I've done either or. It just really depends on my class that year. So some years I literally take all of my Legos and I dump them out in my sensory table, and then I have I usually put those STEM, I have another set of them, those STEM I Can Build cards, or like these are just another, here's some on a ring. These are just like flashcards, but I like them because it gives them ideas of, again, we're just giving them ideas of things to build because building with Legos is tricky. So sometimes they need a visual. If they're going to build a boat, they maybe need like a flat part, and then they want a sail that goes up. I don't know. Okay. So they can, maybe this is their sailboat, because guess what? This is tricky. Legos are tricky. Now, if you're like, I don't have this many Legos, or you're like, I have littles, if you have the bigger Legos, like this size, like the Dubo size, put these in your sensory table, okay? And they will just build and have so much fun. If you have these, great. If you don't have that part too, that's okay. But they can just build. And sometimes I feel like kids either play with Legos or they don't. And sometimes it's because maybe they don't have them at home, or they've never really used them, or sometimes these little ones are frustrating. So I absolutely have these out in my preschool classroom too, because this takes less fine motor than this. This is tricky. This is not so tricky, but this is a lot of thinking. So is this, but this, if you have friends that are struggling with fine motor, you can totally put these big ones out. They're not a little kid toy. They are really cool things, and then they can build all of it. You can also display them if you have like, I don't know, like 10 of these. You can display them, and then at the end of the day, they all get taken apart. So that's a fun thing to do in the sensory table. That's not really quote like rice, but okay. Hold on, sorry, I hit the camera. Or if you want to do a sensory-ish thing, here's a fun sensory table I have for you. It's a planes. So I have a whole bunch of these. Now you could use beans, but I feel like I use beans a lot. So I was like, I want to do something different. Because I get bored, just like the kids do. So it's a whole bunch of these little noodles, and I just dyed them a couple different colors of blue. I have some pom-poms in here for clouds. My foam roads again, so they can make their runway, and then they can take off. And then I just have some little cups in here, because sometimes they don't want to play with these. They want to like scoop and fill, right? And by having a big and a small, they're exploring size and capacity. I think I said that word wrong. But maybe they're gonna fill up the little things. And then sometimes the noodles will stick together because I use paint for these. So sometimes we'll pick them apart, which is great fine motor. So this is a fun fine motor bin too. If you want to do like planes. And it doesn't have to be set up. These can be like wherever, but they'll make their runway and then whoosh, take off. So planes sensory bin. So another, let's see. Let's do fine motor, and then we'll do some more literacy ideas. So in the Math and Literacy Centers unit, I have these different types of lines, so and shapes, so they can trace them with the dry erase marker. I usually these are all laminated, so they can trace them, and then they can erase it if they, put an eraser out instead of having them use their fingers. That works too. If you're like, they don't really like markers, also you can put out if you have mini erasers, and they can build it. Okay. I can't see that very well. They can build it, or you can put out Play-Doh, and they can roll the snake, and they can do that too. Again, use the manipulatives that your kiddos like. I always like to try out, they love dry erase markers because, they erase and they're like teacher tools. So they love those. So I always have those out. But maybe they like the magnetic chips. Those work too. If you want to put those out, those are fun. And then what's great about these is when they clean it up, they kind of trace the line again. So again, so much fun. Again, we're just trying to get them to use those fine motor muscles and have a writing tool in their hand to make them super strong. So when they go to kinder and first grade, they can write for bazillions of years and their hands don't get tired. Well, hopefully not. And they can focus on all the hard writing and spelling pieces. To keep going with the working on some fine motor, I have these road letter mats. So how cute are they? They're like race cars. So I put out different things. So I have my dry erase marker out, and they can write it, and then they would erase it. Again, put out an eraser, not your hand. Mine are over there somewhere. And then I love the bingo chips. They're so much fun. They're great fine motor, and I love it because guess what? They are probably one of the easiest things to clean up because they are magnetic. And then this also comes with a worksheet if your kids, some kids love worksheets, so you can put these out. Also, you can put these out in a dry erase pocket so they can use the dry erase marker and write on them. Or you can put these also in the writing center if you want to do that. I like to have sometimes just these out in the writing center, so if they want to practice on like a worksheety type thing, they can. Because some kids really do love worksheets. It's always, I feel like, the friends who want to be teachers. All right, so can you see this line on my table? So I like to sometimes use my table as like a prop. So I have a whole bunch of their truck rhymes. So what you could do is before your kiddos come in the morning, or if you're going to do small group, you can line the trucks up on the road, okay? And then what they're gonna do, and it literally goes all the way down my table. And then what they're gonna do is they're gonna match them. So you would have all of these out and like over here or in the tray, and they would go frog, and they would find, dog, star, car. And then now look, the trucks are on the road, and it's like a visual, but it's just on the table. And then clock, sock, honey. Oh, I'm looking for the honey one, I think is what it is. Honey, and then I have bunny in here somewhere. But you understand what I mean. So, again, just use your table. And this is fun too because sometimes they can like move around. I love it when kids can move, like literally get up and stretch and move because we need to move and learn at the same time. We don't need to be just sitting in our chairs because they will get bored. And when they are bored, that's when all the fun behaviors happen. Because their bodies are little and they need to move. So sit for a little bit and then and then move for a little bit. Or add some sensory, like this one. These are all of my air traffic controllers. And I have these airplane mats. Now, so what they're gonna do is they're gonna pick out an airplane controller and then they can find it and they cover it up. Okay, or if your kids love dot markers, I like to have options because some years my kids love dot markers. Some years they're like, nope, I like to use actual manipulatives. So maybe they like, just keep on there. So we have these out. So they're gonna grab it and then they would dot it. So grab it, dog. And they would dot it. And then they get to take this home. Or you can also have them trace it. But dotting is so much more fun. Or again, they can just cover it up. I like to put these in the middle and have like 4 boards around it. Or maybe if this is my table, I would have like a board here and a board here. And I have these in the middle. And then I have a board here and a board here. So I have 4 friends. Or even I could have another friend here on the end playing with the same cards because they're going to get it and then they're going to put it back in. And then they're going to get it and they're going to put it back in. And they may go, X. Oh, I have X. X is already covered because they're, again, we just want them talking and loving and learning and exploring letters. And you can pick. These have both uppercase and lowercase on them. So if you're really working on uppercase letters, you can give them an uppercase board. Or if your friend needs to work on lowercase letters, you can give them a lowercase board. And the black and white boards come in both ways too. It's a great way to differentiate all of your friends. Okay, so a lot of transportation words. Some of them are long and some of them are short. So why not make it into a syllable game? So here we have a fix-it shop. And I have all of my different vehicles that need to be fixed. So this game, they spin the spinner and they would touch their head. So they would do helicopter, helicopter, 4, and then they can check it. helicopter. 4, and they're gonna put it in the fix-it shop. And then they would spin or pick again. And what's great about this is you can do this game as like a transition game. So you would put these, like if you're like all your kids are sitting in circle, put these either in the pocket chart, or you can put them just like in front of where you are sitting and have the kids come up, call their name one at a time. They spin it and you do balloon, or you could leave this part out since everybody is kind of up, and you would do balloon, and you could say stomp it, balloon, and the kids who are sitting would stomp it like this, balloon, and the kids whose turn it is, they could jump it, balloon, and then they would say 2, and they put it in, and then the next, pick the next kid, and that's a great transition activity. Or again, if you have any of these, like I feel like a lot of us have these in our closet, some kind of gorgeous transportation thing, you can grab this too and say airplane, and then they could, you know, you jump and clap it. Motorboat, they could jump or clap it. And then again, I love wheelchair, they could jump or clap it. And again, I like doing transitions that use different phonemic awareness and phonological awareness activities, because again, it gets them up and moving, because we need to practice rhyming and letters and syllables over and over and over and over and over and over. And just when we think they got it, keep doing it over and over and over again, so they can just, you know, learn and develop that skill even deeper, because all those are hard. And I feel like when we can do it as a transition activity, it's sneaking in all the learning and all of those tiny moments. I have these cones here, so that way I can remind you guys that during music and movement, turn your smartboards off and just play music. You can play the music, and then they can pretend to be cars and say, be a car, and then they would drive, and then when the music stops, which you just push pause, and they go, arr! And their traffic stops, and then push play, and they can drive around again, and then when the music stops, they've stopped their car. Or maybe then the next time you're planes, and they can fly around, or maybe they're boats. You decide what you want to do, but try really hard and turn your smartboard off for music and movement. So that way the visual is off and they are just listening and moving their bodies, because just doing those start and stop by, you know, by them moving for like whether they're a car or a plane or a boat, by them like starting and stopping, that's developing that self-regulation in a really, really fun way. And it's taking that screen away so you're not having all of that sensory input, because sometimes we need to turn the smartboards off. And there's a lot of fun transportation songs too. In my like song pack, there's a whole bunch. There's like Wheels on the Bus, and you guys turn your smartboards off, turn your big TVs off, and just sing the song. You can play the YouTube video, just turn the screen off. If you don't want to like just sing out loud, or maybe you can turn on your Spotify or whatever music list you have. If you download my song cards, there is a music list that we have. So you can just play that and then turn on the different ones and do the movements and just have them listen and do all the different songs. Trust me, you will see the self-regulation get better if you turn your smartboard off for some of the parts of the day. I know we love them, but also we need to get rid of some of the screens at school too. Okay, so now let's move to math. So there are lots and lots of different vehicles. Okay, I have to do this stack first, otherwise it's gonna fall. But we're gonna start with boats. So we had our letter cards were roads. So I thought, why not do some boat number cards? So again, these are laminated and they write it. And then I like also having something that they can cover it, and then they can count how many boats. These go up to 20, but if you are only working on numbers to maybe 12, or maybe you're working on numbers to 10, or you're working on numbers to 5, just use the numbers that you guys are working on, and any kind of little manipulative work, or again, Play-Doh. And there are worksheets, or if you don't want worksheets, throw them out the window. All right. So I know we said the road cards, but you can't not do road shapes, right? So we have all, okay, I also have rhombus and diamond, depending on what you want to call it. all the different ones, but I love these little cards. They're the ones that are usually like in the dollar spot or like the party section. I love these because they're really, really tiny. You can find them at the Dollar Tree, and they can drive them around. They can also trace them. You can trace the little vehicle at the top. They can trace the word. But again, as long as we're getting that motion in, that's just learning all of those different fine motor skills and learning all those different motor paths. So eventually, hopefully, they become muscle memory and you are good to go. All right, now, if you're like, my kids love trains, don't worry, I got you, because we have these train number mats. I also have train letter mats too. So, where are they? Okay, so my own kids loved Thomas, so I happen to have a very large collection of trains. So, these are little ones. They're like the mini ones, so they're like the blind bags or the little bags. Grab those. And then what they're gonna do is they are going to do the number. So they'll like literally trace it with the train. And then you would do coal, which I forgot to bring it over here, but you would do, here's some. You can do pom-poms, and they would put the coal in the train. And then I keep these on a ring just for organization, but when I use these with the class, I just undo them. Usually they're not in number order. And then they can just do any card. And then again, they can trace it with the train. And then they would put that many pieces in the coal. So much fun. Okay, so we have train number mats. These are actually not in the unit. These are just the train number mats and train letter mats in my store. Now I have a fun freebie for you. So these are pattern block build it mats, and guess what, you guys? They're all transportation. These are fun if you have light table pattern blocks. You can literally take the ones that you use on the table, take these and put these at the light table. That works too. All the different ones, and these are a freebie in my store. I love pattern blocks. Mats are just so much fun. So grab these and do these. It's great for shapes, whether they have to turn it to make the shape. It's also great for spatial reasoning because they're taking the shapes and it's like a puzzle, right? So again, super, super fun. These are a freebie, so make sure you go grab those. And this is how I keep them organized, so fancy. All right, so this is something I made like a long time ago, but they love them. So these are, and they took a hot minute to make, but they are a parking lot game, which I feel like now we make these as printables, but these are bigger. So I just used dots and I put some tape. And what you can do, where are they? I had number cards. Oh my gosh, they're right here. So you can do a couple things. I have a whole bunch of cards and I put some tape on them and I put numbers on them. Okay, these are like to 20. Okay, here's one. This one just says to 10. So they would drive and then they would park it. Okay, or if you don't have a bunch of cards like this, use dominoes. Okay, so you can use dominoes, or you can just use regular cards. So they would drive it and they would go, I'm gonna park in parking spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. And then they would get another card. I'm gonna park in 3. Maybe they can recognize it, subitizing just from it being on there. Also, do you know they make itty bitty monster trucks? Like, how fun are these? These are like the blind bag ones too. So they can drive it and then they go 4 and they can park it in there. Oh my God, like you guys. I just found these I think around Christmas time. So drive it. I'm gonna park in spot 10. And again, you can use any cars. Drive it. I'm gonna park in spot 2. Again, we are just exploring numbers in a fun way using the things that we have. And then these, again, I just made on black paper and I put tape on them. This one's a little hard to see, but a ton of fun. So don't forget to make your own fun things too. Now, also, don't forget to go in your closet because I feel like a lot of us have random transportation-y manipulatives. These are from Lakeshore. So they have the number and then they have to put that many on. So this one fits 5. So they're also like self-correcting, which is great. So we have 2, 9. So go in your closet. Maybe you have number rockets or number dump trucks, whatever you have. Grab, or maybe you have like number cars. So grab whatever like manipulatives you have that have to do with your transportation theme. Along with that, don't forget about going in your closet and grabbing all of your transportation puzzles. Like I have this traffic parking lot one, which you can tell is so very loved. This is probably one of the puzzles that got played with the most in my classroom. Melissa and Doug, we love you for your big, gigantic puzzles. And this one's another fun one too. This one's a little bit trickier because there's 4 puzzles in one, so a little bit trickier. Also, if your kids aren't playing with puzzles, do a puzzle for a small group. Like for a small group, you and like 4 friends are going to put together the puzzle because that means they maybe just don't have puzzles at home. And I feel like a lot of these are out more than they used to be, but do this for small groups. Say, okay, me and my 4 friends, or, you know, and then the other teacher has her other kiddos, or maybe you have 8 kids. It's okay. Get all of them out. Talk about how we get our puzzle pieces out. We turn them all up and talk about how like these are probably the edge because these are flat. And you can talk about how you notice you want to make them match and go together. Oh, this one doesn't talk about how it fits and how it doesn't fit. And even though this one's yellow, this doesn't fit. But really talk through how to do puzzles, because once your kiddos figure out how to do puzzles, they will become puzzle like magicians and just do puzzles like crazy. But sometimes the puzzles are overwhelming and kind of scary because they're hard. So if your kiddos aren't playing with your big puzzles, do small group to help them get comfortable doing puzzles, because they're so great for problem solving and matching and spatial awareness, all the things. So get your puzzles out. And it's also a really easy small group. You don't really have to prep it because you just grab it, right? And it's again, it's a great small group. Okay. Toot. All right. So, okay. So I have my big long line, and I'm gonna use this for another activity. So these are number cards that are in my transportation centers unit. Sometimes we just line them up. Okay, and maybe you do this in the morning before. So we're gonna pretend like I have them lined up. I usually line them up 1 to like 20 or however many fit on my table. It goes to 30 in my pack. But you can have them do the chains underneath because they really love to do that. What's great about doing that is they can do chains underneath, and again, they're on the road, so that kind of gives them a visual. They can also do a chain above it. So another friend can do a chain above it. Or maybe you also have out, you could put out magnet chips, so they could do 3 above it. So they could do 1 counter above it and 1 below it. You could also even do like cubes. That works too, so they could count them 1, 2, 3. And then they're literally just making quantities in a different way. But maybe you're like, that's that won't work for my class. So what you can do is, have you ever played high-low with your friends, with your kids in your class? So what you do is, let's say so you would print off probably a few sets, maybe to 10. And what I do is we never count who gets how many cards. So like I would get this, you get this many, and I get this many. Then we go 1, 2, 3, flip. And you flip a card. I have 9, and I flip a card. I have 6. One thing that's great is this comes with a number line. So if they don't know what number it is, they can find it, and then they would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. I have 9. I have 6. Yours is bigger. You get to keep it. And then they would do it again. 1, 2, 3, flip. And you flip it. I have 5. You have 10. Yours is bigger again. You get to keep it. Again, just super simple and fun. But the 1, 2, 3, flip makes it really fun. If you have little friends and maybe you just want to print off the cards 1 to like 6, just print off a whole bunch of those and just make a whole bunch of sets of those. Now, it also comes with stoplights. So if you want to, you can practice counting on. So like this one starts at 3, so they would have to keep going. So 3, 4, and obviously 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it has stoplights that start at different numbers, so they can start their timeline at different, or their traffic jam at different numbers. There's also blank ones, so you can write which number you would like them to start at. So that works too. But number cards are so fun. You can use them in so many different ways in your classroom. So those are that activity. So another one you can do is this one's fun. So you get out a scale and then you just grab some different vehicles from your block center. So like I have a big digger, I have a boat. This doesn't really have mud on it. It's just a tractor. Again, I would just have this container and you can have it like next to this. Now, you can also do things like small ones. You may do the small ones just so you can see a little bit easier, okay? Also, if you have any of like these like little like randomy sets of things, throw those out, that works too. Okay, you can have an assortment of vehicles and basically they're just gonna explore which one is heavier. Grave digger, the monster truck, is heavier than the plane. Let's try this plane. And a car. The car is heavier than the plane. Okay, let's try the helicopter and the plane. Oh, the helicopter is heavier than the plane. The plane is lighter than the helicopter. Again, we're just exploring measurement, so just use what you have. You can also do it with something like trains and chains, or like a counter, or with like rocks or something. That works too. Now, another thing you can do is you have your line. You can also line them up on how big they are, right? So that it will go from smallest to biggest. And this one's fun because they have to kind of move them around. My boat is the bigger one. This is fun too if you have a lot of big vehicles. And they go, oh, the boat is a little bit taller. And again, we are just comparing like sizes and lengths. And then you could also put out some cubes and they could measure how long each one is. So my car is 3 long, and grave digger is 2 long. So my car is longer than grave digger. Again, measuring with like fun little transportation cars, because I feel like a lot of us have a lot of different vehicles in our classroom, so this is great for that. I'm gonna keep these over here in case I need them again. Put these back in my random container of vehicles. All right, so another activity in the transportation, math, and literacy unit, it's a tongue twister, are these train patterns. So they pick one and then they keep the pattern going. So like I would pick this one and they could say green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, and then they would continue the pattern with the cubes. So they would go green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow. And then this one is orange, orange, blue, blue. I did them ahead of time so you wouldn't have to watch me. Orange, orange, blue, blue, orange, orange, blue, blue. And there are even ABC patterns in here. And they would red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow. And there's an empty one, so they get to make their own train pattern. Transportation is such a fun thing. You can do so many different things with it. Keep our race car theme going. We also have race to 20. But maybe that's too easy for your class or some of your friends. So maybe some friends are going to do race to 50. Or maybe that's too hard. So there's race to 10. There's a race to 50 board. There's, oh my gosh, I can't. Race to 10. Race to 20. Race to 50. Or race to 100. So they can roll the dice and dot it. Okay. Or there's a color board. So I like using these little pasta wheels because they're kind of like little car wheels. So they would roll the dice. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like having them count it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 because we really want them to know that that last number they counted means how many they have. And then they would cover it up. But if you don't have these, again, you can use like magnet chips, whatever you want to use. And again, this one comes in the different levels too. So another fun game that I like to play is how many are hiding. So this one, it takes a minute for them to kind of get the concept, but once they get it, they think it's so fun. So it's the same thing as like bears in a cave, like how many are hiding, but we want to use it for different themes. So I have a little cloud taped to my cup, and maybe you just have 2. And so maybe you're going to go, so you close your eyes, and I'm going to say how many are hiding. Okay, ready? How many are hiding? You have to say, oh, I think 1 is hiding because I see 1. That means 1's under the cup. Oh, 1. I have 1 playing. Okay, ready? You close your eyes. Ready? All right, ready? How many are hiding? And you go, oh, I don't see any. You must, there's 2 planes hiding in the cloud. Oh, you're right, there's 2. I love this game because you can, again, play with, you can work on 2. You can work on 3. You can work on 5. Work on whatever number, work on whatever number is appropriate for your kiddos. Now I do also have the little planes in here that are printables, but if you have the plain transportation counters, these are so much more fun. And again, it's just a cup to make it tight. So this one's really fun. And my 3-year-old, once we obviously did it with just 2, my 3-year-olds even loved this game. And it was a great way for them to develop that sense of number, and it's really, really fun. It's, oh my gosh, that you will hear them like screaming and giggling and laughing, like, hey, like, oh my God, there's 2 are hiding. Oh my God, oh. Like, oh my gosh, they just go bananas. So try it in a classroom. It's so fun. All right, so I know we all do sorting. Dun, dun, dun. Not that it's boring. I mean, it kind of is. No, I'm kidding. No, but it's great because it's a different way to sort than small, medium, and large, or colors. So you can use these with the color counters. So land, air, water, and then we also have the cards. So they would do the land and the air and the water, all the different things. Oh, if you have this pack, these are in yellow. So that way you know these are different than if there's another set for a literacy game, the syllables game. So that way you have the tugboat that's in the water. But why not be even more fun? So instead of sorting by land, sea, and air, after you do that, they can sort by, does it have wheels or no wheels? Because that's kind of the next step of sorting, right? Sorting in ways that aren't like traditional. So we do small, medium, and large. We do color, but you could sort by wheels, no wheels, wheels. Oh my gosh, I did it backwards. Wheels, no wheels, no wheels, no wheels, wheels. again, just another fun way to sort that isn't normal. This one's also fun too. Sort by, is it quiet or loud? Another way you could sort is by, is it fast or slow? And then we have the normal, is it small, medium, or large? Now, these are counters, so they're gonna have to like think, is a plane large or is it small? So plane is large, but a car compared to a plane would be what? Small. So then they would have to kind of like basically convince their friend and like how they think that is. And also there is a you pick board, because maybe they want to go, does it go on a track or no track? This one doesn't go on a train track. This one doesn't go on a train track. Anyway, they went. And again, if they're sorting in a way that isn't the typical way, it's a fun way to extend their thinking and think at a higher level. Right. Now, transportation, I feel like also lends itself really well to make maps. So it depends on, they can make a map of their community. I have, I can't remember what I sounded this out to be, but I used this one when I modeled how to make it. So I have like some water, I have a house and a barn. I really can't remember what this was. Oh, Target. That's what I drew, my Target. So all the different places, and they can draw the roads, or maybe they want an airport, or maybe they want a harbor, and they can draw the lake, and then where the boats park. So maps are really fun to do with transportation. Now, let's do some art. My nose is itchy. When the seasons change, my nose gets so itchy. So, I feel like this one we all love to do. So this is car track. Now, if this is messy, or they only do it for 2 minutes, cover your whole table in a piece of paper. I like using these sand cars because one, they wash really easy, but they can get really, really cool tracks on them. I feel like sometimes when they don't do the car track paintings, it's because the tracks aren't really big. So these are great. These are like the sand cars from the Dollar Tree. I always have these sand cars out as the vehicles during back to school, that first month of school, because I can have less of them and it looks like we have a lot. And they're big and they're fun. But they can do this. And guess what they're doing when they're doing this? They are working on these upper arm muscles, and we have to have strong big muscles in order to have strong little muscles. So this is great for them to work on their shoulders, because we need a strong core to have strong shoulders, to have strong biceps, to have strong fingers and wrists. So, car track painting. Okay. Right. So if your kids are more into like flight, they can paint the whole thing blue. So like, take this and put it out, and they can paint the whole thing blue. Probably put out a really big brush. They can paint the whole thing blue, and then put some black paint on here, and they can put their planes in the sky, and then put out some cotton balls, and they can pull them, because they love doing that, pull them apart, which is great fine motor, and then they can stick them on. And what's great is if they put the clouds on, when the paint is wet, they'll stick, so they don't need glue. So it's a process art, so they can do all of it kind of at the same time. For this one, we put out some white paint too, and eventually it was just blue, but that's okay. So again, options, so many options for art. And then another option you can do are shape collages. So we have a whole bunch of different vehicles. Okay, now for these, I usually have a whole bunch of black wheels and I'll have a little bowl out with a whole bunch of black wheels, just so they can find those easily. And then what I do, where are they? I usually just take out my box of collage shapes, and maybe I'll put them on. I'll put some of my trays out, And this is literally how I prep the activity. I need some more paper. I need to cut some more paper shapes, some bigger ones. So maybe I would probably cut some more bigger shapes for this if I wanted a whole bunch of bigger ones. And then put this out, and I would have the wheels in the little bowl. And students can make a car or a truck or a boat. They don't have to have wheels if they don't want to. They can make whatever vehicle they wanted. And look, this little friend also decided to color the front of his truck. I love that. And look how easy cleanup is. Done. And also, now it's fun because they put that away and now they know that they can do shaped collages as an option too. Also, if you are doing shaped collages, The Shape of Things is a great book because it uses shapes to make all of the different things. So you could read The Shape of Things and then make your shape collages. You could also put out all of your different transportation out too, so they would have a visual on what some of the different transportation looks like. Three more. Okay, so if you go to the grocery store and there are still these, I don't know how much longer we will have these. This one's really old because it's starting to get yellow. But I give them all each a half sheet of paper, and I do this, and I just have these kind of out, and they just cut them out. Now I have a feeling this is a short-lived activity, or maybe if you go to the library, like my library, still you can buy magazines for like, I think it's like $1. So look there and see if they have any car magazines, and they can just cut out all the fun vehicles. Again, I have a feeling this is a short-lived activity because I have a feeling these are not going to be around much longer. Also, in the Math and Literacy Centers, you can also do a stoplight collage. So you cut the strips of paper, and then they cut them all out and glue them on. This is a pre-K friend because they're littler. Now, if you're like, this is too hard for my kids, you want to make these strips thicker, okay? So that way they have less pieces to cut out and put on to complete it. So the thicker they are, the quicker this activity will be. And if they're younger, you want to do thicker. If they are pre-K or K, you want to do a smaller strip, so that way they have to cut more and to make the activity last a little bit longer. So that's really fun, fine motor little craft. And then the last activity I have for you, okay, 2. Also, on your art easel, if your kids, whatever they are like loving or talking about, or maybe you have a whole bunch of these extra ones. Oh my gosh, look at that, an airboat or a taxi. Take these and just hang them like up at the easel, or like in my my full day classroom, I had a black metal cabinet where all my art supplies were. I would put magnets on the back of these, and so they could take these and clip it on, and then they could kind of use that to inspire them to paint different things. Look at the golf cart, oh my gosh. So fun, a camel, all the different things. And again, you could also use if you don't have any of these, like these are just like, God, I've had these for forever. But if you don't have anything like this, again, use the STEM I Can Build pack, STEM I Can Build transportation pack. And those don't have a background, so they might be a little bit easier for your kiddo anyways. And print an extra set of those out and put some at your art easel, and they can paint some still life vehicles. Last one. So this is a Play-Doh tray. This one is always so fun and simple. So I literally take the counters and I put them out, and I put out green, blue, and black. You could also, again, you could put out white if you want, but I feel like that always like mixes and makes no colors. But that way they have like ground, they could have a road or a runway, they could have a sky. And then I also put out green gems. I have clear gems for clouds. And then I have blue gems, and they can be water or clouds. And then I just have some Play-Doh tools, and they can just create some really fun little lands or runways or harbors or whatever they want. Again, with the transportation counters, we always have out. And also, like this one, has a little Play-Doh stuck in it. If for some reason your counters get a lot of sticky Play-Doh on them, or the Play-Doh is really sticky all of a sudden and you didn't notice until they were playing with it, take these, soak them in a bowl of soapy water, forget about it like you do your coffee, and go play and enjoy the rest of your day with your kiddos. And then at the end of the day, all the Play-Doh will be off, or you may just have to use a toothbrush or put these out and give the kids a toothbrush and some soapy water, and they can clean them, and easy peasy. But every once in a while, I feel like the Play-Doh gets magically sticky, and they notice before we do. So it happens. Also, if you want to and you have like transportation cookie cutters, you can also like put out one less thing and put those out too. Or maybe you're like, I'm using these for a lot of math things, you could do that. And then you have your transportation Play-Doh tray. Again, you make it how you like it. So I hope you guys loved all these transportation, math, and literacy activities. Again, a lot of these, most of them are in the Transportation, Math, and Literacy Centers unit, or the train number mats and letter mats. Those are by themselves. And then the transportation STEM I Can Build cards, those are in there too. And then don't forget the ramps science unit, or you can also do simple machines because that has wheels in it. And then you could do auto shop or train station for your dramatic play center. So I hope you guys loved all of these. Also, let me know in the comments if you want me to do a fine motor journals or like a butcher paper, just transportation butcher paper video, and I could do like a just transportation fine motor journals video. So let me know if you guys want me to do that, and tell me in the comments. And if not, the links are where all the links are. And you guys have the best day or night ever, depending on when you're watching, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.